Fucking hell! Hello everyone, time for another quick ride, and today I've got the new Triumph Thruxton R. Yes, it's the Triumph Thruxton R. I had to look to be sure about that. And I've been on the bike for about 10 minutes now, but damn, I like this thing already. First thing I noticed when I set off is this thing has got power. I believe it's got 95 horsepower, but for a bike this weight, that's good. It's a lot more than the previous generation, and wow. With the two-cylinder producing it doesn't rev all that high, but damn it, it goes. It sounds nice too. See? Now, not only does it go, it also stops. It's got some proper brakes on this thing. It's got the radial brake pump at the top and a pair of radial brake calipers down below at the front. So it's got a dual system, a dual brake discs, yes, and just two fingers, and oh my god, it just stops. Wow. The riding position is also not that bad. I'm not usually not a fan of this, sitting like this sort of position, but it's not that bad. It's got the normal layout. You can also get a version that has the clip-ons down here, but it's okay. It's okay. The seat is nice. Doesn't feel too hard. I like being on this thing. Mirrors offer great visibility, actually. I gotta say, they're actually probably a bit better than what you get stock on the Street Twin or the Bonneville. Yeah, the bar end mirrors do look good. Woo! Oh yeah! Okay, just lost my train of thought there. Yes, the bar end mirrors look better than a pair of mirrors sticking out here. And as you can see, it goes! Now, just like the Bonneville that I tested before, this one comes with a couple of riding modes. Now, this one has 3 riding modes compared to the 2 riding modes on the Bonneville. It's got the same road and rain riding mode, and I'm currently in the road riding mode. But it also has a race riding mode. So, for comparison, this is road. And this is sport. It really opens up the bike. It feels just, bam, a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more sharp, a little bit more on it. Feels really, really good. So when Triumph first announced this bike, I had an idea of what I wanted it to be, because if you look at the previous Thruxton, although it looks good, it's sort of all show and no go. So when Triumph said that they were going to make a new Thruxton, I sort of thought, well, okay, you know what would be a fun thing, you know what would be really awesome? If the new Thruxton, you'd be able to take it to the track and you'd be able to compete with it against a street triple, because a street triple is a proper bike, yeah. It's got a, what is it, 106-ish horsepower, and it's a bomb. It's a really nice bike to race around on. And what I wanted for the Thruxton was about the same power, the same capability, and it seems like Triumph has delivered on this bike. Yes, it's a little bit lower on power. It's got a 95 horsepower rather than 106, but it's got way more torque. Now I don't know the torque figures from mine, but it does have more torque. It's a 2-cylinder. It's not that surprising. But not only that, it seems like the frame. This bike acts like, you know. Yes, you know. It feels like it can really hold itself while taking some proper corners. Now the brakes I've already talked about. They work. Up until now I've just used 2 fingers for braking. This was just completely with the complete hand, and I just locked the front wheel. So no worries, because the bike does have ABS now. But moving on, the brakes, so they work. Another part is the suspension. And once again, Triumph has delivered in spades. This one, the R model, has a pair of Showa big piston forks. Now, if you looked at the previous Bonnevilles, they had, like, you know, the forks are about this big. This one has the proper big piston forks. They're like this big. They're completely adjustable for both pretension and compression. Oh yeah, just listen to that. And I believe at the rear, it's fully adjustable as well. So you can go places with this thing. You know, I think this bike will really perform well on the track. On the front and the back, by the way, it's got some proper Pirelli Rosso Corsa tires. Those are like practically race tires. There is a lot to like about this bike, and I haven't even talked about the looks yet. So obviously, the new Thruxton, it's a classic bike. That's how it's styled to look, and they've pulled it off. We've got the same features that you found on the Bonneville. To make it look a bit more classic, the exhaust is a straight pipe all the way through all the way, although it's got the catalytic converter hidden down there. The water radiator is hidden away like the oil radiator before it was. It's got all those classic throwback things, but it's still modern technology. So it's still got these rings here that the previous Thruxtons and Bonnevilles had, but it's got the lambda sensor in there. The look-alike carburetor things, which is actually the injection system and the throttle housing. The low-slung exhaust system, which sounds amazing. The dual system suspension from Öhlins, completely adjustable. This seat is a leather seat, and look at that fantastic nice stitching. It looks fantastic. The tank with the what's it called, the racing style cap, which is now lockable as standard, by the way. You didn't have that on the previous models, but it looks good. It's functional and it's beautiful. It's fantastic. The tank looks, you know, it's nice and narrow. And look at these brakes at the front, full radial brakes right here. Got the rebound adjustment there. And like on the Bonneville that I tried out before, we've got this this really nice arrangement here with the headlight, or with the headlamp, with the LED daylight running lights, which you can switch with a button to full lights, like so. So now it becomes a set of full lights, and this trigger here will now trigger the high beams. Let's turn them off again and go back to these. In the regular mode, it's just a trigger. Now, I'm not sure, because it's the R version, I believe the normal version doesn't come with the radial brakes and doesn't have the big piston forks, I think. But I'd say go for it. Go for it, because this is the 1.5. By the way, let's just zoom in on that. I don't know who that was, probably someone that knows me. This is the 1200cc high power version rather than the high torque version. And just look at all this aluminium stuff and these nice little details here. That's fantastic. I love it. Also, it got LED lights here, LED indicators. I don't know if these are standard, but they do look good. Alright, so let's wrap things up. The 2016 Thruxton R. Yes, that's it. That is my verdict. Yes. All of it is just yes. Seriously, I cannot find a single negative thing to say about this thing. It is all of my yes. Seriously, it goes, it stops, and it looks like $1 million. Okay, yes, maybe that is one negative thing, because it's not the cheapest of bikes, granted. Yeah, I believe that this version with some gubbins on it will easily run 15,000 euros, I believe. Once you've got some accessories on it, you'll easily get there. That is not quite cheap. Then again, I think that's sort of the same price class as for a BMW 9RT, which this is supposed to compete with. Which I hope it can, because it is a bit down on power. But in terms of the looks, it's sort of the same thing. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't mention before is the fairing that you can get on this. Now, if you're a fan of the cafe racer style, this already looks like a cafe racer, but you can take it even further by getting a full, like, cafe racer fairing over the front here, like those old bullet style fairings. You can get that on this bike as standard. If you love that sort of thing, well, then I think you'll be amazed at how good it looks. If it offers wind protection, I don't know. I'm not sure. But, well, that's for you to decide. But anyway, this has been an amazing ride on this bike. I wish I could ride it longer, but I have to turn it in, unfortunately. So, I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.